Hey, hello, everybody. This is Jon Lindstrom. Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show. Hey, before we get started, let me introduce you to everybody, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town, Mr. Ron Russell.
I am so happy to meet and speak to my favorite actor of the month. You are my favorite actor, and I'll get into
Not only of the moment, but of the month.
Well,
Wow.
every month I have a new favorite actor.
Well, I'll tell you, brother, your stock with me just went way up.
Well, wait till I get into interviewing you. I mean, you did an outstanding performance in one of the films I saw that I'm thrilled to pieces to know you and to say how proud I am of you.
Oh, thanks. What movie was that?
No, we're going to go into that in a minute.
That.
We can't do
We're
that.
going to get into that. Okay.
For listeners to wait.
Can't wait for a compliment, you know.
It's not a compliment. I'm an actor also, so I'll be discussing it with you. Actor to an actor. I'm a film actor as well.
Wonderful. We can talk about the work.
I would have played the part probably as good as you did, but not as sensitive.
Also, we've got the man behind the boards, Mr. Chad Murphy.
Hey, John. Thanks for your time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Chad. Nice to meet you. I can't see you, bro, but I hear you fine.
I'm behind you.
And then we have a chat room full of people, so say hello to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everybody in the chat room.
A lot of people are saying, oh, my God, I loved him from General Hospital, so there you go.
GH, the real beginning of my entire career.
So actually, here's a little story that I want to tell before I let Ron get into it, because Ron's very excited to talk with you.
Okay.
My mom was an As the World Turns fanatic, and so I basically watched As the World Turns since I was about 3. And it's always been on, and so I thought that was really cool that you were on As the World Turns, and then Ron and I were watching What Happens Next, and so I thought, oh my God, he would be a great guest to come on the show. And I had no idea that you've been in all these things. All I did was go on Twitter and see if you were there and send things out. I didn't do any research or anything to find out that you're Emmy nominated and that you're in True Detective and all these things. So basically, because I knew you were on As the World Turns and you were in What Happens Next, which we love to death.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
We thought, we're a gay married couple, first of all. Ron and I are married. And so the movie was so great that we just thought it was so cool that I thought it'd be cool to bring you on as a guest. So then when I looked you up on IMDb and saw all the stuff that you've done, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. This guy's really great. And not only is he in this one movie that we thought was great, now he's in True Detective, one of the hottest shows on television and all this stuff like that. So I just wanted to, number one, say congratulations, and number two, say we loved you in What Happens Next, and that's the film that Ron really likes a lot, so he wants to talk about that a little bit first, and then we'll go into True Detective. How's that?
That's great, man, and thanks. I'm really glad you liked What Happens Next. It's one of my favorite projects that I've ever worked on, and we shot in Philadelphia. I don't know if you know that. You guys are in New York? Is that where you're at?
All over New York, Philadelphia, Florida, L.A. We bounce.
Oh, okay. You bounce.
Okay, John. Being a gay viewer of that film and being an actor as well as an interviewer, I'm a dangerous person to see those films because most of the times I resent the fact that a heterosexual plays a gay person and doesn't do it well. That to me is an insult. That's like playing any other part and not playing it well when it comes to a group of people that are being crucified by half of the world. Your performance could have gone either way. It could have gone into a laugh and a joke, or it could have gone where I saw it. A sensitive actor, portraying a sensitive part, doing it delicately, transforming from one thing to another thing without ridicule, without hesitation, without embarrassment, without humiliation. An actor who was willing to be out on a limb. Not many actors want to do this. Tom Selleck played in a movie where he said, I'm gay, and everybody thought he was, and it went around town that Tom Selleck was gay. So you have to be careful when you play gay roles and you're not gay. What I loved about it was the director, of course, had to be an incredible director to get out of you what he got out of you. Let me give a little idea of what we were watching. Young boy sits on the bench, meets an older, handsome gentleman who is heterosexual.
Who is John.
Or who is confused, or is who confused. As the picture progresses, the elderly gentleman is starting to question his own sexuality because
That's John again.
he's getting an attraction towards this younger boy. Well, the final outcome is he realizes that he was a latent homosexual and that he is very much in love with this younger boy, and he hooks up with the boy and they have a relationship, and they show us in the film how happy they are together as normal, healthy, homosexual men. This is how we gay people want the world to see us, as normal, healthy, homosexual men. Yes, there are gays that you see in parades that are disgusting and trashy and humiliating, which I feel the same way. I used to know Rock Hudson pretty well, and I said to Rock, too bad you won't come out, Rock. Me, you, and I was naming all the gay guys, Tab Hunter, all the people of my era. We should all march in a parade, and Rock Hudson, they dropped dead, and nobody would believe it. We should show the world that there are decent gay people. You, my dear friend, portrayed your character with such respect. I thank you. I mean, when an actor moves me, he's a damn good friggin' actor because I don't get.
Well, all I can say is thank you very, very much for those words. To that, well, then I guess, you know what, I did my job.
Yeah, but you could have done
it. It's funny, when I read that script, we were living in New York at the time. I was actually doing As the World Turns when I got it. We knew that show was canceled, so everybody was looking for other work. But when I read the script before I even auditioned for it, to be honest, I never even saw it as a gay movie. What I saw was a movie about love.
Mm-hmm.
I get emotional when I talk about it.
I got emotional in this interview as well, as you could have told if you would have been close to me. It's an emotion.
I just feel that, if anything can be done with a project like that, and I really have to give all kudos to our writer-director, Jay Arnold, whose brainchild it was, and he financed the film himself and cast me in it over somebody else much better known. And, and for the integrity that he brought to it could only rub off. And I don't know. I'm probably considered by many to be quite a lefty. I'm not, but I am in some ways. And to me, the most important way is to be an American for all Americans.
Definitely, for all humanity. To be a human for all humanity.
For all humanity.
To respect.
So when I see, if we can make a piece of art like we did called What Happens Next and make people laugh at the same time and hopefully make them feel something and feel good about it at the end. If that changes anybody's mind that equality is a right, and I'll say get your frickin' personal shit out of the way.
Absolutely.
Everybody deserves to love.
What I noticed about your performance, and I guess I would have handled, I don't know how I would have handled it being a gay man. I guess I would have handled it a lot more nonchalantly. Like, yeah, it's okay. I'm going to be gay next week because it's no big deal for me to be gay. But the way the part that I loved the most, as you sat there and as you looked at him, bewildered, saying, I'm not gay. Like, whatever gave you that idea?
And he really believed that.
I know that, but you did it so well. You didn't offend me. You did not offend me or any gay persons watching that film. Now, I won't mention who, but somebody in the media who is outstandingly in the media now was asked by one of my fellow interviewers, are you gay? And he jumped back on the sofa and said, oh, no, I'm not gay. That was offensive to the gay world. I guess you know who I'm talking about.
I don't, but...
Caitlin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What's his name? The real name, Bruce Jenner. When Diane Sawyer asked, "You gay?" and he quickly threw his arm on the sofa, he said, "I'm not gay." It was as though it was he was loathing being gay. Well, what does he think he is? He's a drag queen. He still has his nuts, and until they're chopped off, he's a drag queen. He's a drag queen. I have a very good friend of mine, Liz Law, who's a fabulous drag queen. So this is what I mean. We have to be very careful. That's like saying, when somebody asks me, do you have black friends? And I say, what? I would have black friends? It's the same thing. You have to be careful today because people are so sensitive, overly sensitive to things that go on. Again, back to your performance. Now when you finally come to terms with yourself, and you're still embarrassed, and your sister, I believe she was,
yes,
who's played
by Kimberly Fairbanks,
who's fabulous and who you love.
She's fabulous.
My sister was played by Wendy Malick.
Oh,
Kimberly played the domestic who worked for the character.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, Wendy played my sister.
Jimmy.
I messed it up.
It's okay, Jimmy. She is an incredible actress in everything she does.
She's wonderful.
She's one of my favorites. An annoying bitch. You wanted to smack her around every time she opened the trap, which was wonderful. I mean, she annoyed me in that film.
That showed how well she was doing.
That's how well she was performing as the overpowering, overseeing sister who's telling him that he's got to go out with these not so attractive, hungry women. When in fact he's falling in love with this not so attractive younger boy, which I'm glad they didn't put a gorgeous hustler type there, that they put an ordinary looking fellow, an average guy. I would suggest to everyone, it's not a gay film.
Actually, you should go. We have to tell everybody what the name of it is.
Well, wait a minute. It's not a gay film, so don't think you're going in to see a gay film.
It's a love story.
It's a love story.
It's a love story.
It's called What Happens Next. It's on Netflix right now, or is it on HBO?
No, Netflix. It's on Netflix. Actually, it's everywhere. I think you can get it on iTunes. You can get
you can get it. You can anywhere fine digital downloads are sold, and Netflix.
And it's also got Megan Hilty in it, you guys.
Yeah, Megan Hilty's in it.
Tell me, John, tell me, how did you think to go about doing this vision of this man when you haven't a clue as to what you were doing in real life? I mean, you're not gay, so you don't know. I went out with a guy when I was 16 who was married, and he was going through this sort of thing where he didn't know he was gay. Actually, he liked me. I didn't like him. He was after me, and he couldn't understand why he found me attractive. Well, I was 16, I looked 12, and I was gorgeous. So, I mean, I can understand that. I mean, a lot of straight guys used to like to touch, They do that. I don't know why straight people do that before gay people learn. I got felt up by more straight people when I was a kid than gay people. But anyway, tell me, where did you pull it from? Did you talk to somebody? I'm curious to know your performance.
You know what? Well, it kind of goes back to my original. I do believe in listening to your original instinct. And when I read the script, like I said, to me, the script the whole story was about love. He just happens to fall in love with somebody, and really for the first time in his life. So all I had to do was think about the first time I fell in love, or that I really fell in love. And coincidentally, I had recently fallen in love with my now wife, actress Katie McLean. And so all those feelings of love were fresh in my heart, fresh in my mind.
That's a natural thing.
It's a natural thing. That's what I mean. Love is love, but it's also, I think, a big word here is respect. Respect the character the way you would respect somebody that you meet on the street, and just I wanted to treat Paul Greco, the character,
right,
like any other man that I would meet in the world. And I just felt that. If I'm Paul Greco, then you wouldn't pick me out of. If you saw me as Paul Greco walking down the street, you'd just see a man walking down the street. You wouldn't see a flamboyance. You wouldn't see, how did you describe it in the parades? You wouldn't see that kind of a guy. If I were gay, I don't think physically or emotionally I would be much different than I am now. I think it would just be. I think I would just be John. The John that all my friends know.
If I have to play a part opposite a woman, and I have to desire her, and I have to, they never cast me at that, but if ever they were stupid enough to cast me at that, I look like a flaming Tony Curtis. But anyway, if they ever decided to cast me as that, I don't think I could do it like a heterosexual man. I would do it like a gay man towards another man because I don't feel it. I don't know what that's like. So how did you know what that's like to be so convincing? And even the shyness.
Well, again, it wasn't like I was going to fall in love with Chris Murrah, the actor who played the young man. But I'm not going to fall in love with. Let's take General Hospital. I did General Hospital in Port Charles for 10 or 11 years and was supposed to be madly in love with the character of Lucy Coe. But I never fell in love with Lynn Herring, the actress who played her.
Right.
I love Lynn. She's a good friend of mine, but I wasn't going to fall in love. It's just you have to act it. You have to find a way
But
to.
you knew the moves. You knew the moves is what I
knew
mean.
the moves. Yeah, I knew the moves.
If I had to make love to, say, Sophia Loren, which wouldn't be difficult, by the way. This is quite gorgeous. The moves, I would have to study and learn the moves because a gay man's moves are entirely different. That's the point. I mean, you were just excellent. Now, I don't know your other work because, to be honest, I don't watch soap operas. I think they're awful. I think the direction is terrible. I think the storylines stink, and I think the actors can't act. I mean, there's one actress in particular who I know, who I won't mention, but she's a big daytime television star, and she and I talk about it a lot, and she said, I was strapped. I couldn't act. I couldn't do what I want. She said, they don't let you act. It's like you walk through your lines because you're live.
Yeah, I think that's even more true now. I mean, it's always, I have to disagree a little bit. I do think that it was a great place to work.
To learn, a good school.
It's a good school, but but even that implies a little bit of amateurish about it, and it's not amateur. It takes real professionals to get those shows up every day. It's just that the schedule involved in getting it up every day is very, very difficult to meet.
And they're called corny. Now, I would love to see you more in major films, and I think.
Yeah, so would I.
Wait, I think you will be. I think that there's something about you that, when you bring it to major films, people are going to flip over it. There's an inner soul in you that I saw when you were performing. There's a part of you that reads, to me, star. A lot of people don't have it. I've got so many friends that are actors, and I say to myself, you poor bastard, you're never going to be anything. You just don't have it. The quality, the whatever it is, that inner sparkle, that inner sanctum, whatever it is. And you've got it. And I'm going to follow your career. And I'm going to watch your films, and I'm going to probably enjoy more of them.
So first of all, I want to say
thank you very much.
I want to say congratulations, first of all, because your wife is gorgeous, and she's got a great career also. So congratulations on that. Yeah, she's
a soaper also.
Yep. And
well, she was, and she has been, but she actually was a child actress. I don't know if you remember her.
Katie McLean.
Her name is Katie McLean.
Yes.
And she was actually one of the child dancers in Pennies from Heaven with Steve Martin and
Bernadette Peters, sure.
Yeah, and was Peter O'Toole's daughter in My Favorite Year.
Okay, Lainey Kazan, my best buddy.
Yeah. Katie's been working for a long time. She's an extraordinary actress and a brilliant person.
So let's go. Okay, so first of all, one thing I like to do when we have guests on is I always look at everything that's on IMDb, and believe it or not, Listen to Me is which is probably one of your first things that you did many years ago. Is one of my favorite 80s movies of all time.
Really?
I have it on VHS. I've watched it 1,000 times. It's a phenomenal movie. Everybody should check it out. I don't know where you'll ever get to see it because I doubt that it's anywhere you can see. But if you see it in a bargain bin someplace, buy it. It's got Kirk Cameron and Jamie Gertz, and it's about a high school debate team or college debate team.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal movie. I loved it.
Don't blink or you'll miss me. But
it's okay. At least you're in it, though. At least
I'm in it.
And then I watched General Hospital all through college. I skipped class, so I'm pretty well versed with General Hospital. But now I know you have a movie that you actually helped write and directed called How We Got Away with It.
Yeah.
Won all kinds of awards. It's got a great cast. The website is howwegotawayWithIt.com. And why don't you promote that a little, because I see it's available for download everywhere for people to watch it. Why don't you give it a little plug and let's see if we can get it going more.
Well, it's yes, it is a movie that I co-wrote with two young actor friends of mine named Michaela Burnett and Jeff Barry. They had brought a script to me that they'd had a couple of fits at starts with, and I had actually written a script. I wrote a story and then wrote a screenplay with a friend of mine, an actor named Tom Shanley, who's also in Listen to Me, by the way. Yeah, he plays one of the debaters on the other team, but. Tom and I had written a script that became a movie called The Heart Easy with Vera Farmiga and Bruce Dern. And so my friends Michaela and Jeff brought me this script and said, we've been having trouble getting this off the ground. And I said, yeah, I'll help you rewrite it, but only if I can direct it. And they said, great, no problem. So we went to work and completely rewrote the script. And then we found ourselves up in Rochester, New York, in August of all times. I'll tell you, August in Rochester can be brutal. But we shot over the month of August and pulled it all together. Yeah, boy, it's a long story. But basically, it's an independent movie, and a lot of it I had to do myself.
There you go.
Choosing the music, deciding on the edit. I had a friend help me edit, put the movie together, and then I had to fine-tune the whole thing, color correction, scoring.
Give us a quick synopsis.
Festivals, everything. The synopsis is a young man and his friends. A young man discovers a shocking tragedy right as his friends are about to show up for their annual summer reunion. And what happens over the course of the next couple of days reveals a long history of secrets and family trauma that ultimately results in revenge and murder.
Okay.
That's what it's about. It's a laugh fest.
Everybody's got to check this out then, you guys, because it's called How We Got Away With It. It's howwegotawaywithit.com. And then moving forward, so like just to like brag a little bit more, you did Must Love Dogs with like an incredible stellar cast. It's a great film.
Diane Lane, yeah.
Diane Lane, John Cusack, Elizabeth Perkins, Christopher Plummer, a great cast. And then coming full circle, now you were on season 2 of True Detective with Vince Vaughn, Colin Farrell, Rachel McAdams, Taylor Kitsch. I mean, that's another like stellar, unbelievably stellar like cast of people. The fact that you have all these like major A-list movie stars, you know, doing these shows now for like Netflix and HBO. And what do you think of that? First of all, the fact that they're
I think it's I think it's just a symptom of the business. I was out with a friend of mine last night, a film director that I know, and he's starting to look at television in a way that he never has before. He always refused to do television. He's a very successful film director, but frankly, it's kind of the economics of it all. All the really great creative people have decided that they're tired of not getting paid to do movies.
Thank you.
Or having to take years of their lives to get a movie off the ground. I mean, it took me 2 years to get from the time we wrapped to get How We Got Away With It released.
Can I interrupt for 1 second before I forget the
Sure.
thought? The Hollywood buzz right now with everybody I know, over 50 is the new thing in Hollywood. They're hiring now more and more people over 50. So I can get work, and I guess you're over 50. There's a lot of parts now being written for over 50 because they realize that now in the world we have more senior citizens than ever in the history of the world. And senior citizens do go to the movies. And let's get them in the theater.
And they watch television.
That's
exactly.
Right.
So there's going to be tons of work for you, my friend, coming up in the next year.
Well,
serious. But
from your mouth to God's ear.
Well,
there you go.
Not from my.
No, he's pretty good at picking it out.
From my mouth, my mouth to every stupid producer, director, and casting fool in Hollywood that doesn't hire you, because you got the look, the personality, the speech, and definitely the acting ability. You're a definite shoe-in.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So how has that been though? So now you're working on a show. It's a hit show. You're working with. I mean, those are like A-list. Like it doesn't get a whole lot bigger.
Especially.
Yeah, it's a game. Things like that can be a game changer for your career. And yeah, I've had a lot of interest, and I'm taking a lot of meetings. And I'm not exact. I've done a few gigs since we wrapped True Detective, and I'm I can't say what, but things are going. Things are happening.
I'm happy about that.
At what age did you start in the biz?
He's been doing this a long time.
Well, let him answer.
In the actual business, I think I moved to Los Angeles when I was 20, and it took me the standard 7 years before I was able to leave the restaurant business behind.
Exactly.
So I've been doing it since I was professionally full-time since I was 27.
Right.
That's awesome.
So 30 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm in the business a lot more than that, but I didn't do what you did because I decided to be an interviewer, and I've been on TV for years interviewing great celebrities of yesteryear, like Jane Russell. He
had a show called Set the Record Straight in L.A. where he interviewed all the Hollywood legends like
the legend
Tab Hunter.
the big legends, Lauren
The real
Bacall,
legends.
Tony
Yeah.
Curtis, the real big
Wait,
stars.
what do you think about that? Because you're you're in between both of our ages a little bit. What do you think of the people that are super popular now? We don't have to use names with anybody, but the fact that time I say somebody that we're having on the show and I say they're really big and they've had a great career, and he'll say, but they're not a legend like the legend. What do you think about legends and that whole legends thing?
Well, I guess time will tell, but I mean, of all the ones that and I'm talking about leading men right now, there's I don't know if there's ever been a whole lot of them that could really carry the weight of an entire movie on their shoulders, or the weight of an entire kind of persona that on their shoulders. But I mean, today probably George Clooney, maybe Christian Bale, but I you can count them on one hand. But if we look back to the 40s, and I think there's one big problem, one of the reasons why is because people are not groomed and trained the way they used to be. I mean, in the studio system, there is everybody from Cary Grant to Humphrey Bogart and 100 in between that we can look back on and go, that guy's a legend. He left legendary work and was an amazing personality and knew how to use it. And today, everything just gets thrown against the wall, and you're thrown into a pit of wolves. You have to figure it out on your own.
I remember once talking to a few people, younger people, and they were talking about Marilyn Monroe. And I said to them, just to be, I guess, realistic, Marilyn Monroe did pee. And they looked at me with such surprise.
What?
We never thought that she did that. And that's when
I just never wanted to imagine it, to be honest.
No, seriously. I mean, we never thought that Joan Crawford was such a big whore, that she was. Lesbian whore by, whatever she was. We never knew that stuff. We thought Joan Crawford was the ultimate lady. And meanwhile, she started off as Lucille Lesur. She was I forgot who it was. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. So the studio groomed you and made you into what you were. I mean, I know a lot of the old celebrities. I mean, Jane Russell was my dearest and best friend, so I got a lot of dirt from Jane, as well as Lauren Bacall. They were not allowed to do the things that actors do today in public. They were told, you mustn't do this, you mustn't go there, you must keep this a secret. So they became legendary stars, not human beings. Nobody, I mean, if we read that Burt Lancaster ate pizza, we'd go, oh my God, Burt Lancaster ate pizza. It was like a big deal. So that's what makes
and I think one of the problems too is that it seems like careers burn up in about 6 months. One problem is just this constant 24/7 social media news cycle that is looking, the TMZs of the world that are just looking for ways to tear people down. But on top of that, I think that there's been a little bit of a decline in just simple social protocol, because what those stars were told not to do is the kind of stuff that, you probably shouldn't do in public anyway.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't get drunk and fall down on the sidewalk because it looks bad and you're gonna break your nose. So I think there's just a bit of a lack of our social decorum that could come back, and then we might be a little more willing to put people up in that pantheon of legend, and that was something to aspire to.
Look at Winona Ryder, a brilliant actress.
Oh, she's such a great
fabulous actress, unbelievable actress. She did some pills, went shoplifting, career's gone. Shouldn't do that. Hedy Lamarr, great star, swiped a brooch out of one of the Broadway department store in California. Boy, the studios jumped on that real quick and they squashed it. In 1950-something, the Enquirer magazine dug it up and put pictures of Hedy Lamarr as an older woman looking haggard, saying that she was poor and that she was swiping stuff out of department stores. So it's you got to be careful when you're in our business. When Jimmy and I came out of the closet, especially for me, I knew it would pigeonhole me. I knew there's no way that I could do anything again but be a gay man who's openly gay. So I'm counting on that to do things for the gay population, to show people that gay people are decent, that we marry, we have love, just like everybody else. We're not child molesters. We're not perverts. Some are. I mean, we don't all cruise Macy's bathroom, 7th floor. We're not all there. Trust me on that one. Trust me. So there are a lot of, I'm sure you've met many, many decent gay people, and I'm sure you've met a lot of jerks.
It's just people in general.
Right. So that's what I want to do, and I expect anybody that does it for me. As well as I promote all the old movies. Bob Osborne is my hero, and,
Bob's a very dear friend of mine, by the way.
Well, say Ron Russell said hi when
I
you
will.
see him, because he's... Anyway.
Bob was my landlord in Hollywood many years
You're
ago.
kidding.
Oh, how cool.
He co-owned the building that I moved into up in Beechwood Canyon, which is the canyon that goes up to the Hollywood sign, of course.
I lived
And I just saw him. I just saw him a couple of months ago in New York. I went to visit him and have breakfast.
Tell
with
him, hurrah, 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 because he's just doing wonderful things for film and for the history of film. And, we old guys got to keep the history of film alive because it's wonderful. Lauren Bacall said to me, Ron, tell your people, a film is never old until after you've seen it. And I believe what Betty said was true. A film is only old after you've seen it. There's no such thing as an old film.
So actually, I had never seen a single black and white movie like from the 50s or 60s until I met Ron. Now I've seen like hundreds of them, so he's right, and I think I've got a whole appreciation because I'm kind of like part of that violent murder, Fast and Furious kind of history of things that I enjoy a lot. So it's given me a whole another appreciation. And
maybe that's what I liked about your performance, John. It could have been very well in a Warner Brothers film in 1945. You're soft. You could have been George Brent. You could have been a lot of other actors that would have portrayed that part as you did if Hollywood would have allowed that subject matter.
It's funny. My manager described what happens next as an old Rock Hudson, Doris Day movie.
You know what? There's something.
I had that kind of light feel to
and
it.
And you brought it to the screen. Yes, that's probably why I was so impressed by that film and by you.
So real quick, you guys, because we're going to run out of time. First of all, you're on social media, so you guys can check out his website. It's jonlindstrom.com. He's on Twitter. You can follow him at the Jon Lindstrom, making sure that you know that John is spelled Jon. Are you on any other social media like Instagram or Periscope or anything?
Instagram, I'm just Jon Lindstrom. I'm on Facebook. I have my own Facebook page, and I try to interact with everybody there. If they ask a reasonable question, I try to answer it. Okay. I post a lot of my jokes there.
Okay, we like that.
I'm going to friend you because I do a lot of film stuff. My page is all about film and film stars. So I'd like to start letting the world know who you are and what you do. And please, when we do meet at a party or somewhere in the world, shake my hand. It would be a great pleasure.
I'll give you a hug, man.
There you go.
That's even better.
Also, you guys, make sure you watch the second season of True Detective. It's great. It's on HBO. John's in it. And follow all his stuff. Check out how he got away with it. Check out what happens next. Check out Must Love Dogs. If you can find Listen to Me, you definitely want to find that. I know you like him on General Hospital and As the World Turns. And we also want to thank Cheryl McLean from Creative PR for helping setting this whole interview up. So we want to give her a shout out.
Cheryl.
There you go. And we want to thank you for coming on.
I want to address, we have a tremendous gay audience. And I want to just tell all of my gay family, please go into Netflix and watch What Happens Next. You will love the film. You'll be proud of the acting, and you'll be proud of the story matter, and you'll be proud of John mostly. So
better yet, go to iTunes and buy it because Jay needs to get his money back.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Go to iTunes and buy it.
Go to iTunes and buy it because you have to pay for Netflix anyway. So why give it to Netflix? They have more money than God. Go buy it. Go buy it. But it's a good film, gay folk. Listen to Ron Russell. He never lied.
So, John, we want to thank you so much for coming on, and you're just fabulous.
Hey,
loved it.
Thank you very much for having me. This has been great.
Terrific. You're a great guy. Bye, John.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
What a nice fellow.
Hey, everybody. That was fabulous. Jon Lindstrom was fabulous.
Nice
we hope you
man.
guys liked it because he's a superstar, and you watch, he is going to be really, really
he's going to be a big star because he's got stuff, let me tell you. And good to look at.
What'd you think,
so
Chad?
Handsome.
Another rockin' show. Good job, fellas. Well done.
Everybody, we're going to have I hope everybody has a great weekend.
And also, the interview I did with John will be on YouTube in a couple of weeks.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Jimmy Star Show, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye.
And Aussie, I'm just chilling with the star, yo, sitting down and designing. Where every man am I thinking? What are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC. You can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
always love the closer Kimmy.
Bitch, I'm your wanna be. Give me some new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Stars. We'll dress you.
Okay. Good show. Are we done?
No, Chad hasn't. Oh, you're done.
We're
Chad.
off, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, thank Chad for me to pee. Oh, did I have questions?
All right, you're clear.
Dude, that was a good one, right?
Oh, they're all good. I think your last 2 months have been really good.
I know.
He's really a very interesting actor. You've got to see how he works. He works very soft and quiet, and he just does it. He's a brilliant actor. Trust me. You and Heather should watch that film, by the way.
Yeah, I got Netflix. I'll check it out.
It's
really
an interesting film. You know, it's a little faggy at points, which I would have edited out, but basically the story is really good. Chad, thank you. Talk to you next week, baby.
Fellas, enjoy the day.
Send it to me. Thank you very much, Chad. Have a good
Peace
weekend.
out.